Disney announced not too long ago that some table service restaurants at the Magic Kingdom will now be serving alcohol. Now I know there are some in our community who are really happy about this decision. Finally, there's alcohol at the Magic Kingdom, all the other parks have it, why not the Magic Kingdom? And there are some who kind of feel indifferent about it, you know, maybe you usually go to the monorail resorts if you want to drink and not the Magic Kingdom, or there are some who are kind of, you know, a little upset about this and really feeling like this is not the direction that they want to see Disney go. Now many of you know this already, but I don't drink, and I especially don't drink at Disney. Even on a Disney cruise during the captain's reception when they are walking around with free alcohol, just handing it out to everyone who's of the age that can drink, I'm still not drinking anything. Why? Because I really like to have a clear head, and I don't like to be dizzy. I like to be able to have that energy for Disney, and drinking anything with alcohol in it would totally mess that up. I remember on our most recent Disney cruise during the captain's reception, the cast members walking around with all of those drinks and the one non-alcoholic option. And I reached for it and he said, no, sir, that's the non-alcoholic one. And he seemed shocked when I said, no, that's the one I want. He was shocked. He said, oh, okay. He didn't realize that some people don't like alcohol. Thank you very much. I like that, yes, thank you. They're always surprised to hear that I don't want to drink alcohol. Now there are many different opinions about this topic, and I'm going to try and go over as many as I can in this video, but the very first thing I want to address is the fact that to me, there's a very big difference between someone who's really responsible with drinking, maybe something after dinner or walking around World Showcase trying a couple things here and there, but being responsible about it, versus someone who's being totally inappropriate and irresponsible with their drinking. There's a big difference to me between those two people. For the purposes of this video, we're going to call it the responsible group and the irresponsible group, just so you know where I'm coming from. So you might be thinking as I'm talking about responsible versus irresponsible, where is the line, Michael? What do you use to distinguish someone who's being responsible about it versus irresponsible about it? Well, for me, at Disney, it comes down to one important factor: the magical experiences for your fellow guests. Those who come to Walt Disney World and drink to a point where they are interrupting someone else's magical experience may want to reconsider why they're coming to Disney in the first place. I mean, Walt Disney World was made by Walt Disney as a place for families to come together and enjoy magical experiences as a family. Now, does this mean that a group of friends, or maybe even an individual, can't go to Walt Disney World by themselves because it's for families? Not at all. Disney is for everyone, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Disney is for families, for couples, for groups of friends, or even just for individuals. Disney is for everyone. So what does that mean for those who like to enjoy a small drink here and there on vacation? Just remember that you are there with every age group imaginable, from infants to great-grandparents. So just remember that so that everyone can enjoy the magic together. Okay, now that that's been said, let's talk about Disney bringing more alcohol to the parks. When Walt Disney first started creating theme parks, they were all dry, at least for the most part, and that's how I remember Disney, at least when I was a child. But the world has changed, and so has the Disney company, and over the years the company has been bringing in more and more alcohol to the parks and the resorts. It started with a few table service restaurants, maybe a glass of wine after a steak dinner, and so on. And then it evolved into a festival, the Food and Wine Festival, where guests had the opportunity to try spirits and food from all sorts of countries all around World Showcase. As Disney saw more and more profits from the sale of alcoholic beverages, they started to bring them to counter service restaurants, and this started the trend where guests could carry an alcoholic beverage in their hand as they walk around some of the theme parks. And more recently, we've seen Disney build kiosks where a majority of the items on the menu are alcoholic beverages. I tie a lot of alcoholic beverages, as you can imagine. And then just the other day, we heard confirmation that Disney is bringing alcoholic beverages to some of the table service restaurants at the Magic Kingdom. So what do I think about all this? And keep in mind, I can't remember the last time I had an alcoholic beverage, so I am super biased over here. I personally feel that alcohol in and of itself at the Disney parks or resorts aren't a bad thing. It gives those who like to drink on vacation an opportunity to try maybe a drink that they couldn't have tried anywhere else. World Showcase has some really special drinks. I have no problem whatsoever with those adults who want to be responsible and drink something special at Walt Disney World. I have no problem with that at all. My feelings that it's a bad thing change over when I start to see that responsible behavior change to irresponsible behavior. The biggest reason is because it can damage the magical experiences that other people are trying to have. Whether you're young or young at heart, if you see this kind of behavior, it might kind of skew your opinion of Disney in the negative way. And I can understand understand why. For me, I have the ability to push it out of my mind and remember times when I was younger and I didn't see any of this. Maybe it was around and I didn't notice it, but I saw none of this when I was younger. Now that I'm a little bit older, I see this and I kind of push it out of my mind and say, that's not real Disney, that's separate. So for me, I have the ability to push it away, but think about those who are younger now, who are just experiencing it maybe for the first time ever. I want to make sure that their magical experiences are just as memorable. Whether it's on a bus, on the monorail, in the park, in the resort, it does not matter. To me, irresponsible and inappropriate behavior has no place at Walt Disney World whatsoever. Just thinking about myself for a moment, if I had a child at Disney, I do not want to have to explain to them why this person is having trouble walking, why these people are shouting, why this person is sick on the side. I do not want to have to explain that at the place where dreams come true. That's just me, that's just my opinion, but to me that takes away from the magic. So the Magic Kingdom is now serving alcohol. For me, that's really not the most exciting news in the world. I'm kind of thinking to myself, if you're responsible with it, that's fine, I have no problem with that. But I also think it's a good opportunity for the Disney company to take a pause for a moment and consider what Walt had on his mind when he made this magical place. Now, with all of that being said, I want to say for those who enjoy an alcoholic beverage and are responsible with it, I think that is perfectly fine and that is not part of the problem at all. I also want to say that Disney security goes above and beyond to make sure that those who are causing a problem are not allowed to stay in the park. I've seen it myself happen. There's a group of people who had too much to drink and Disney asked them to leave and they left and that was perfectly fine. I just hope that in the future Disney doesn't have to do more and more of this. So what do you think about this decision of more and more alcohol at Walt Disney World and at the table service restaurants at the Magic Kingdom? Do you agree with me that being a responsible adult about alcoholic beverages is the key to this whole thing, and if you're responsible then it's fine no matter how you do it, or maybe you just prefer that at the table service restaurants, or maybe you just want to see a dry Walt Disney World? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and in the poll right there. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.